On today's podcast, we're going to talk about the Portland, Oregon riots. What? That's still going on? We're also going to talk about the stimulus check. Apparently, your stimmy might be depositing pretty soon. Fourth of all, we're going to be talking a little bit about Hollywood and how they control the movie market. And lastly, assault weapon ban introduced by our beautiful person here in California, Communist Party of California, Dianne Feinstein. Stay tuned and check this out. Transmitting from sunny Southern California, capital of entertainment, beautiful ladies, and great whiskey. You're listening to the Hot OTM Podcast, where we discuss politics, guns, entertainment, music, and all the controversial topics we can find. Here are your hosts, Hector Robles and Christian Mejia. Welcome to the show. All right, so we got a full plate today of carne asada, rice, and beans. We're going to go ahead and start out with the first topic here, which is the Portland, Oregon situation. I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, but have you noticed how there's no rioting? Nothing's happening. Everything's back to normal. The same, stuff is, it's really, really nice. Everything's perfect now, with the exception that there's actually rioting going on in Portland, Oregon. So it was kind of hard to find a lot of this information, but so I found some video. They were just showing the hypocrisy of this situation. So there's the whole reason behind these riots in Portland this time was because the mayor, I don't even know what his name is, that douchebag, he apparently is funding the police now. So he's giving him a shit ton of money. He had taken a bunch of money because he wanted to defund the police for his community. And now he's funding the police. So these Antifa people came out and they started burning down a federal building with people still inside of it. So they started trying to burn it down, right? And I think one person was arrested. And then if I'm correct, they just let him go afterwards. So it's interesting, and whenever you hear the reports, they're protesters. They're not rioters. They're not terrorists. They're peaceful protesters at that. But they're burning down a federal building. So the hypocrisy is just ridiculous. And the fact that you're not able to see that, but they keep on replaying the shit that happened at the Capitol. It's like, oh my God, can you believe that old lady walking through with her fucking cell phone smiling and her little flag? Yeah, that's a fucking, they're trying to take over the government. And it's like, okay, so that's a 70-year-old lady walking through and some idiot with fucking horns walking through, stealing a pedestal or whatever that other moron was doing. That's sedition. That's them trying to overthrow the government. Our government are fucking experts in overthrowing governments. And let me let you know that that's not how they do it in all these other Latin American countries. They do it a lot different than letting old ladies walk around with fucking little flags. So it was just interesting to see the hypocrisy in these Portland riots that are going on with these terrorists that are burning shit down, but they're called peaceful protesters. So just thought I'd bring that up. Fucking hilarious, I guess you could say at this point. It's just we're like and actually when I walked into the studio, our producer was playing this Batman movie, and he mentioned something to me about there where the Joker tells the Batman that something about that once they don't need you anymore, that they'll just fucking toss you out and throw you away. And it's very interesting because I think that that's what they did with Antifa. They're the useful fucking idiots. They used them to get elected, for the Democrats to get elected, and now they don't need them anymore. So they're just a nuance that's kind of fucking pushed to the side now. But so much shit that's kind of involved with our Hollywood movies, and they're telling us, certain shit that's happening. And with that, I'd like to go into a small little Hollywood segment that that I wanted to discuss. And I know this may be a little old news, but I was flabbergasted. So let me go into this part. Hollywood news. Okay, so I was watching this video, and as you could tell with this little trend here, I watch a lot of videos to kind of put all these things together for you guys. And this video was talking about Doctor Strange, and I actually really enjoy that movie, the Doctor Strange movie. Maybe I shouldn't be praising Hollywood for that, but I actually thought it was a really good movie. So something very interesting that I found out about that, and again, this may be old news for a lot of people, but I wasn't aware of it, so I might as well just bring it up for those who don't know. There's the I forgot what her name is, the lady who's the master at teaching Doctor Strange, all his moves and things. Well, apparently in the real comic books, that's actually a Tibetan monk. But since Hollywood did not want to offend the Chinese government, by offend, they mean they didn't want to be able to exploit they wanted to make sure they were able to exploit the entire Chinese market. So they put some woman and didn't even bring up the whole Tibet situation. They basically acted like Tibet didn't even exist. And so even though we're not in China, China has a hold of our politicians, our schools, and our media. I mean, the shit that they own media companies here in America that basically give us the news. So you may think that, oh no, that they only do that shit to the people in China, but we're being brainwashed, and the media is completely controlled by the Chinese government as well. So, I mean, just take that into consideration whenever you see the news and whenever you're seeing this stuff. Understand that you got to take it with a grain of salt, because there's a purpose for this. They're trying to push an agenda. And like I said, I was just kind of like, oh shit, I didn't even know. I mean, I don't really watch these comic books too much, to be honest with you, but I did enjoy the movie. And in this video, they were talking about it, of how they're controlling not only that, but they control actors. I believe Richard Gere, if I'm correct, he was talking about Tibet and how the Chinese government is oppressive. And this is a while ago, when that guy was in his prime. And apparently he was going to be on a project with some Chinese producer or director. And 2 weeks before it went down with this project, the director called him and told him, hey, I can't do it because my family's under threat. If I work with you, not only am I going to be blackballed, but my family might actually, be in danger. So that just kind of goes to show you how controlled this whole shit is. And by the way, they own part of fucking AMC. Like they owe like maybe 60%, I think they said, of AMC. So these guys have their tentacles all over our industry, our media, our politicians. I mean, they're fucking everywhere. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I just wanted to bring that information so you're kind of aware of it. Whenever you see Hollywood movies, you got that in the back of your mind. With that, we will move quickly to the next topic here, which is the stimulus. Stimulus. Okay. With this stimulus, apparently they passed it, and they didn't. They pretty much, the Democrats had control of this whole thing, and they still didn't pass the $15 an hour situation for minimum wage. And I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, hey, why aren't they passing the $15? I mean, they could write it in and they could pass it through. I mean, they've got full control of everything right now. And I realized it's because they're setting up the next play. They're going to set up another stimulus, and then they're going to set up that $15 an hour. So they're basically setting up their play. That's my thought on that situation. It's like, okay, they can't give you the full chorizo the first time. They're gonna split it up a little bit for you. That was kind of my thought, and I think they may be pushing like a third wave of this situation. So there may be a third wave, and if they are, then they can start pushing this shit. And I truly hope that I'm wrong in this, but I feel that this is the calm before the storm. And I just don't trust this whole system. Like, something seems off about this. It just doesn't seem right that they can keep on printing this money and giving it to everyone. Specifically, like a good example is all the states that fucked up with business. They closed all the businesses, and then they don't have all this revenue, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, well, California overall, New York. They basically ruined the whole fucking economy because they wanted to make sure that they fucked Trump. I mean, that was really the key. Well, now they're being rewarded with the stimulus plan where they're giving them billions of fucking dollars. Not billions, I'm sorry, millions of dollars to make sure that they essentially recoup all that money that they've lost. So they're taking the money from all the other states. Well, I mean, I guess at this point, they're not even taking money from states. They're just fucking printing this shit. And if they could really print all this money and that's how it works, then why do we pay taxes? I mean, if they can just turn on the printer and just get whatever money they want, what's the point of collecting taxes? I mean, why don't you just print more money and we'll fix the problem? Because of hyperinflation, maybe? And I kind of foresee this happening, that right now we're on lockdown, so people aren't spending their money. But once this economy starts hitting again, I think that if I read the statistic right, they were saying that in the last year we've created about, I think it was like something like 35 or some, I don't know, somewhere around 30% of the money that America has, or the United States has had in its entire lifespan. Something about like 30% of it has been made within the last year. Just fucking think about that. 250 years of fucking the U.S. and 30% of the money was made within the last year. That's fucking mind-blowing. And they're saying, no, we're not going to be having any inflation. Everything's still going to be the same. I don't know how we avoid this being a Venezuela situation. Again, I hope these magicians are able to pull it off, because then like that, we don't, there's not going to be fucking mass starvation and all kinds of crime and all kinds of shit. But I really find it difficult to find that there's going to be no repercussions for doing this. But with the breakdown with the stimulus, I think it was something like $1,400 for each one of us. I'm sure most people know about this. They're extending the unemployment through September 6th. $350 billion for cities, states, and tribes. $170 billion for schools, and then $100 billion for public health. So, I mean, I guess I'm happy it's not going to gender studies in fucking Pakistan. I guess that's a good thing. But something annoying that I saw in this video that I was watching, these two reporters were talking about it, and they were saying, well, the American people should be very happy that they're getting, a family of four is going to be getting $7,600 or some figure like that. Man, that is a lot of money. And I was just like, yeah, say that shit to somebody who fucking lost their job for a fucking year and they haven't been able to fucking make any money. And then you throw them the crumbs, $7,600, shut the fuck up. It's just hush money, man. That's really what it comes down to. They probably owe more than that in back rent and bills and all kinds of shit. So you're not, to me, it's annoying that these people think like you should be happy and you should shut the fuck up because you're getting your $7,600. And that's if you have all these kids. If you're only like a single person and they fucked you, they're giving you $1,400 for you to shut the fuck up and just shut up and keep moving. Nothing to see here. So I just found it very arrogant of these reporters to be saying that shit while a lot of people don't have jobs, haven't had jobs, and are really struggling right now. And the key isn't to give people money. It's open up these businesses. Yeah, with precautions, I understand. But I mean, you can't fucking lock this shit down unless that's your strategy, which I do think that that's the strategy, the socialist fucking strategy, to make everyone dependent on the government. And I even foresee, this is me putting on my I don't know if you guys, maybe you haven't, but there's this Latin American character. He's a superhero called Caliman. and he has like this diamond ring in his forehead, and he can see into the future, and he's like telepathic and shit. And I'm gonna use my diamond jewel on my forehead, and I'm foreseeing that they want to push the digital currency, and that they're trying to get us on universal basic income. I think that that's kind of the push here. They've talked about it before, but I really foresee that that's where they want to lead us, because then they control the food, they can fucking control you, they can make you do whatever the fuck they want you to do. But with that, we will go to our following topic here. Let's see what we got. What do we have? Oh, I did want to mention one last thing, just really quickly, and this is kind of going back to the Hollywood thing. I heard that Coming to America was a sad story, the movie. So I just thought I'd throw that in. I was like, fuck. I really wanted to watch the movie. One of my buddies told me that it was full of pretty much non-funny stuff and feminist agendas. So, well, there goes the movie I was looking forward to watching. But all right, and now we go into the... All right, so this week, a lot of shit went down. That I had talked last week about HR 8 and HR 1446. So it went up for a vote, and in the House of Representatives, and it passed with flying colors. A bunch of fucking, like, 8 Republicans voted for it. It sounds like a good idea until you realize that you're putting the burden of proof on us and not... So you're basically guilty until you're proven innocent, until you prove your innocence, which is fucking some backwards communist shit. But the thing is that there's one good thing about this. There's a Democratic, I don't even know who he is, some Democrat basically, who's anti-killing the filibuster. So at least right now, in the Senate, once these bills go to the Senate, they can filibuster this shit and they can just hold it up. So I mean, that's one good thing that there is. Like, we're not done yet. Yeah, it's kind of like we got kicked in the fucking face. Some of our teeth flew out, but we still got back up. So right now that's still pending. But fucking Commie California sends Dianne Feinstein to introduce another motherfucking bill. Okay, so she thinks that we should ban all assault weapons. You mean fucking rifles? Yes, but anyway, this bitch is fucking pushing the whole banning assault weapons because no normal citizen should have it. Again, going back to the Second Amendment, the whole point of the fucking Second Amendment is for a tyrannical government. It's not for fucking sporting. It's not for fucking fishing. It's not for you to have fun at the range. It's for a tyrannical government. So you need to have weapons that are the common rifle of the time to be able to get rid of that tyrannical government if it gets out of hand. They're trying to take that away from us. And ironically, there was an additional part that they wanted to get into the bill for this weapons bill. And this is the interesting thing. They were saying that if an illegal immigrant tries to obtain a weapon, right? So he's breaking the law because he's not supposed to obtain a weapon, so he's technically a criminal. That if an illegal immigrant tries to purchase a weapon and they run the background and they find out that he's an illegal immigrant, that they're not going to report him to ICE. To me, it's like, if you're telling me that all these background checks are to stop criminals, and this is a criminal trying to obtain a fucking gun, that we can't criminally prosecute him to get him the fuck out of the country. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So this isn't for criminals, obviously. This is for you and me to take away our gun rights, and little by little they're trying to chip at it, man. They're like, oh, we're not coming for your guns, no, but you know what, you can't have this gun, you can't have that gun, and you know what, these assault weapons are bad, even though they're less than 2% of fucking deaths come from assault rifles per se, that 98%, nobody gives a fuck about those people because that doesn't meet their agenda. So this isn't about making anybody safe. And the last time I heard, criminals don't fucking buy guns legally. So this is just for oppression reasons. I really don't know about these politicians in California. The problem is that this bitch has fucking lived for like 200 years, Dianne Feinstein. I remember being a little fucking kid and hearing about this bitch. And I'm fucking a grown-ass man, and she's still fucking around. I mean, I don't know. This is worse than fucking like Hugo Chavez taking over the whole fucking country or Fidel Castro. This is some fucking commie shit. But it's fucking insane to me. At this point, I don't even know what to say, but all we can do is just blow up their fucking phones, man. If you can, just get on the fucking phone and call your senators, call your congressmen, fucking blow up their phone and just let them know how you feel about this. Don't be silent, because silence is just getting on the fucking trains while they're taking you to the gas chamber. So don't fucking be silent. Fuck this shit. And so that's kind of what's going on with the gun community at this point. Ammo's still fucking hard as shit to find right now. I actually went to one of my local sporting goods stores, and I was the third guy in line, and I still wasn't able to buy 9mm ammo. It was that fucking bad. Got to pick up a couple of boxes of other stuff, but yeah, a lot of people say that it's going to go back to normal, but no, I think that the ammo shortage is also, we're in for a long run on this, and well, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for your time today, and remember, subscribe, hit the bell wherever you're at. I hope, again, if you're a new subscriber or a new individual on our channel, I hope we earned your subscription. If not, maybe we can earn it in the next video or podcast. Thank you so much for your time, and you guys have a good night. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. If you would like to donate, please join us on Subscribestar. Thank you again from all of us here at the OTM Podcast, and you have a great night.